So welcome to our Fair Game event. So Fair Game is the company's diversity and inclusivity strategy. Today we're delighted that we've got 4 panelists that have joined us. So we have Mandy, who is one of only 3 managers in Remax, which is quite fantastic. We've got 2 of the founders of SHE, who will tell you all about that a little bit later on. And then we have Anna, who's a psychotherapist. So it should be quite interesting. Yeah, let's see where this one goes. So briefly, I'm just going to pass you over to the panel now. They're going to tell you who they are, what they do, and we'll take it from there.
Hello everyone, and good afternoon, and thanks for having us. My name is Sarah Woods. I'm a mom of 2. My background is in events, marketing and journalism. I worked in Dubai for a few years, for about 6 years, on events projects. And post-kids, I came to Malta and said, what am I going to do with myself? So I found something I was passionate about, health and fitness, and I started a blog. So I have that, it's called Fit Malta Moms. And more recently, Julia and myself have launched a networking group for women called SHE. It stands for Social Hub Entrepreneurs. And we hold networking events. We create a space for women to come and to connect and to be inspired and to encourage people to go out and follow their dreams and to make friends and to potentially find a business partner. And that's me in a nutshell.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm the founder of A Life I Choose. So, as Chris said, I'm a psychotherapist. Sometimes I prefer to introduce myself as a life and joy strategist, because when I say psychotherapist, people tend to go, I don't blame them. Kind of our, my profession hasn't been that good at kind of making you like us and trust us, because we tend to look at everybody's flaws and go, oh, you have this, I'm gonna fix you. So that's not something that I like to do. Very luckily, life led me to Gestalt psychotherapy, which is very different. It looks at people much more holistically. And so the way I work is people come to me with their current situation, okay, whatever challenges they're facing at the moment, and then we visualize their dream life, okay? So what do you really want life to be like? Okay, because very often we tend to feel like life just happens and it's not very much in our control. And then my job is to help you to create the map, to bridge the gap, okay? And it takes work and it takes commitment on the side of the client. But yeah, this is what I do. And I look at process and I look at the fears that stand in your way, the beliefs that stand in your way, and we sort of deconstruct these beliefs and then replace them with empowering ones so that you can move forward and create the life you want. So that's what I do, and I love it. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. My life's been a bit less of what you do. I mean, she's just a brilliant speaker, by the way. She's like the best public speaker. That's why we asked her, said, Emma, please help us, join us, support us, please. Anyway, my name's Julia Perry, and I live in Bath. I own a media business with my husband, just myself and my husband. We have a few clients we work for, and we help them with their social media. And more recently, I started SHE with my good friend Sass. Well, you weren't my good friend, but you became, you speak every day on the phone. We're very proud of that. We bring women in business together. We offer them a platform where they can come and talk, share ideas and motivate each other. Our job is really to look for speakers with qualities maybe that I don't really have. Like Emma. Emma's joined us a few times, but yeah, that's basically it.
Hi, I'm Mandy Miller. I'm not good at speaking in front of many people, so this is a challenge for me. So please. I come from a background in sales. I've been involved in sales since I was a little girl, so it obviously kept leading me over to sales. I am currently one of the 3 females at Remax as a manager. There are another 2 women who are slightly older than me, and I'm one of the youngest ones. Been doing it for 7 years. Started off as a letting agent, went into sales, went into assistant management, and then I moved into having my own branch. That only happened recently. I'm a mommy of a 9-year-old, so this is a great job for me to be able to juggle my life around. I'm like a little clown, juggling always. Basically, that's me in a nutshell. I'm not as great as the 3 ladies before me, but I get some practice now. Nice meeting all of you, and thank you for having me.
For any aspiring ladies wanting to get out there, what advice can you offer them?
I think for me, it's pretty straightforward. I would say, the main thing is to believe in yourself. I would say believe in yourself, because you can achieve anything with hard work, an eagerness to learn, and also a positive attitude. That's what I would say.
I'd say trust your gut and listen to your dreams. Because a lot of the time I think that we sort of learn that our dreams are like too high and we're dreaming too big. And so we have all this belief that says like, I'm not enough, or I don't know enough, or I can't get there because I don't have the resources, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have blah, 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 blah. So I say listen to your gut and listen to your dreams and seek guidance when you're struggling, because there's going to be challenges. Like no matter what you want in life, there's going to be challenges. So seek guidance, find mentors, model someone who's done it, like someone who's achieved it, and study them. See what they do, study their physiology, study the way they go about their days, and you'll get there.
Yeah, I think what these ladies have said, and also I think everyone's afraid to say that they failed sometimes, or they take knocks and then they don't want to get back up again. I think it's really important that failure is seen as actually a path to success, and this has come up a lot in our events, speakers talking a lot about this, and I think it's so important because you take a knock but it makes you stronger, and I think as a woman especially, you need to overcome a lot of hurdles and obstacles, and I mean men equally actually. There's a lot of men looking at me like yeah. So yeah.
I was trying not to glare.
So yeah, I think that's what I'd say. That's really been high on my mind so recently.
I believe that nothing should stand in your way. I believe if you put your mind to it and you really strongly believe in it, you can achieve anything. I'm a self-starter, I've taught myself everything. I came into an industry where I knew nothing, and I modeled, like what you said, myself against other females and males, and saw what they did, and always asked questions and questions and questions, and kept driving.
Have you ever struggled with discrimination based on your gender?
Should I start since I have the microphone? Okay, so this happened. Yeah, actually, a few days ago we were waiting for a boat, to Comino. We're going to embark on a fun day out, and the event leader had a really powerful voice, and I was really quite in awe of him, speaking out loud and everybody turning, and he basically grabbed everybody's attention straight away, and I complimented him on that, and I said, wow, you've got a very powerful voice. I don't think many people would listen to me as they listen to you, as being a bit modest like I was. He turned to me and he said, well, I never listen to women, and he repeated it, when a woman talks to me, I never listen. And I use it as an example. It's just literally a few days ago. I don't know what to take from that. I just I walked away, but it's good to have these experiences sometimes. It just makes you think that there's a lot of work to be done in our society.
I think indirectly I've actually discriminated against myself. And sometimes I think, because I'm a woman, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe, I don't know, I don't have what it takes to get the promotion, or to carry out, to lead an event, or to run with a business idea.
Okay, I can think of two. So one was when I was 13 years old, and it was time to pick your subjects in school, like you're going to focus, and I chose physics. And I remember the headmistress had called everyone who chose physics. I went to an all-girls Catholic school, maybe it gives you more context. And she called all the girls who chose physics down to her office and was like, girls, are you sure you want to take physics? It's a boys' subject. It's very, very difficult. I remember thinking, that's weird. Anyway, so that's one. And I think the worst scenario was in one of my jobs where I was basically told by my bosses that I was definitely up for head of department so long as I had no intention of having children. So that was the worst for me. Ta-da!
Happened to me 3 times. When I returned from the States on my first job, I won't mention the company. In my interview, I was asked if I was planning to have any kids. And I answered and I said, that's none of your business. Actually, another time at the bank as well, it happened. In my job, it happens quite often because it's dominated mainly by men, and it's changing, however. But yes, I've had times where I was told, let me speak to a man, and I held ground, and I did close. And actually, sadly, by my grandmother. Keeps challenging me and telling me, that I lack at home, and I lack as a wife and as a mother. And she drives me further though, because I want to prove a point, so I don't let her come to me. The more she tells me, the more I get successful, thanks to her.
How does diversity affect employee hiring, please?
With us, it does quite a bit, we are working as a company to change that. We are working, in fact, I have just launched, from the first office, I've just launched Mothers Returning to Work. I am starting to build a lot of advertising and campaigning regarding women who are mothers, and now, their children are growing or their children are young, because mine was a month when I went back to work, how to help them, assist them, and make my career easy for them to come into.
I think of diversity in terms of personality types and competencies. So I don't necessarily think of it as woman versus man, because in reality we're really similar in a lot of ways. But we differ then in things like competency. So when I think about a company, I think about and diversity, I think, okay, what competencies do you as a company need to be able to deliver your product or service with maximum efficiency, effectiveness, and providing maximum value to your client within an ever-changing environment?
If you could be any animal in the world, what animal would you be and why?
Random. Is this something you guys prepared for?
I'll be an owl. Okay, I'm going first, okay? I'd be an owl. Just because who asked this question? Where are you? I'd be an owl just because I really like them. They look very wise and serious, but I'm sure they can party, at night while they're up all night. So yeah, that's what I'd be.
I love the sea, I don't know, I choose to be a dolphin, I guess.
And she smiles all the time. I don't know, a horse, maybe? Strength, power. I think I played this game on an app or something. Yeah, my characteristics were a horse, so I'll go with that.
Chihuahua. Tiny, but heard.
Are you sure?
Question for Julia, please. Traveling between the UK and Malta, what difference do you see between the two countries with respect to diversity and inclusivity?
Yeah, well, the differences were quite large actually. When growing up in Malta, I am Maltese, even though I don't really look it, but I am Maltese. I grew up, thinking about it 20, 30 years ago, it was very much male dominated. My dad is an estate agent as well. He owns an estate agency. I remember walking into the office, it's all male. Maybe one female secretary on the front desk. That's basically what I remember. And my mum at home in the traditional role. So I just, coming from that, I just wanted to do more. And I always wanted to move to England for some reason. I just thought that there's more opportunity there. And I think the reality is that they still have problems too with diversity in the UK, but not as much as here. So I didn't really feel it as much. So when I moved there, I just felt freer, more independent. I saw my friends at university getting managerial roles and working hard for what they do, but achieving it. And it was good to experience that. I think it's great to come back as well to Malta and see that there are a lot of differences now, more women in the workforce. It's good to come back and see that Malta is improving on that level too. So.
I want to ask you, on your opinion, how important is the support that you get from your families and from your friends?
I think it's very important. I think it's important, but I don't think we should rely on it too much. You still need to listen to your gut. Take on board what everybody else has to say, but listen to yourself, and you get further. Believe in yourself, as Sass was talking about. Confidence means a lot.
I'm lucky I'm blessed to have a husband that supports my career and is always pushing me forward. But yes, sometimes you have to go and listen, but do what your gut tells you and what you feel is best for you and your family. Because if I listened, I wouldn't be sitting up here today.
I've had that as well when I go to my parents and I say, oh, I've had this business idea and it's so cool, and we're going to do this, and my mom goes, nah, it's not going to work, forget it. And then I come back and I do it and I tell her, oh look, you see, I've done it. And she's like, yeah, but what are you going to do next? And I'm like, oh. So sometimes, you just have to do your own thing. Obviously, she supports me in different ways, she takes care of my kids, and I have a husband as well that supports me and encourages me. So yeah, it's important, but listen to yourself.
Yes, extended support is important as well. So like the support of your family members and friends. I don't think you're going to get it from everyone, but the ones who you do get it from, go to them, soak it up.
So in a male-dominated, I suppose, workplace, and in a male-dominated business environment, how would you go about combating the norms of the business procedures when breaking into a whole system that's been set up by men for men in a business process?
The way I'm going about it is I appreciate what's been set up already, and I learn from that. So I learn from the processes there. I have many male mentors. And at the same time, I don't lose myself to that. I don't feel I have to become that to fit in. I tap into the value that I bring, and I bring it. But I don't try to eradicate what's already there, like it's been built. And you know what I mean? I can bring in, and we can evolve together.
The reason why I asked is because I know my mom brought us up as a single mom, and we were quite a few kids. And I suppose you said as well, that thing that you said where they told you not to have any more kids. She was forced to have a hysterectomy to make it into directorship in a bank. So it's a really bad thing, and I grew up watching this type of thing, and I'm like, no, this isn't right. So that's why I just wanted to put a bit of why I'm asking the question.
That's really interesting. And for me, when they told me you can be head of department so long as you don't have children, for me it just became very clear that I didn't want to work there. I don't want to work with these kinds of people. So I don't.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Start your own business.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you find most of you are working moms. How do you find a balance with your work life and also at the same time maintaining the balance at home without feeling like you've let down your kids?
You never feel like
I don't think you can ever feel that. I think you feel the guilt.
Just the general feeling, and also how do you deal with also the repercussions of people looking at you as working moms in a respectful way, but at the same time also finding the balance with, the mentality that it's like because you are a working mom, you're letting go of your house, etc.
I think you always carry around that guilt, for the rest of your life probably. It's just one day you feel really good about yourself, you're getting things done, you feel respected, and then another day you feel really low. I'm not doing enough for my children, I've got to hire a nanny or get a babysitter, etc., etc. It's always going to be like that. But I just think you have to, once you make that decision, you just have to accept that you're going to have your good days and your bad days, and you have to get on with it. I think and as I think Mandy really inspired me when you said, I think you need to tell them.
Yeah, I was telling her earlier on last week, my daughter approached me and I was having a real horrible day, and she turned up to me and she looked at me, she told me, "Mommy, I'm so proud of what you're doing. I really want to be just like you. So there's me feeling guilty. I'm never spending enough time with her. My house chores are all over the place. And then she just walked up to me, and I happened to be having a very bad day. And she's like, I just want to be like you. You're a very, very strong lady. And I really want to be like you, mommy. And it kind of refilled me that I'm doing something right. And in my 9-year-old's eyes, I am this, something right. But trust me, you'll always be dropping the ball somewhere. It's just learning which balls to let go and which balls to grab again and run with. So.
So this question is for Julia and Sarah. What was the idea behind SHE?
Well, the idea behind SHE was to create a safe space for women, we didn't want it to be something too corporate. We wanted it to be a relaxed environment where women could come and talk to each other, okay? We have a similar setup like this. We have a panel, and we choose our speakers. We take a really long time to choose our speakers, and we target different women so that we can inspire different categories of people. And it's basically a safe space to inspire, to connect, and also for people to come potentially to find a business partner, or to collaborate, or to make friends, really. Yeah, even if you don't have a business, sometimes you can be inspired to start something up. So we literally target everybody. So business owners, entrepreneurs, people who are established in business, people who are not working but perhaps wish to do something in the future. Yeah.
I think we're really proud of it. We've grown from just 30 people attending to, and the last one being about 120 people. So we're really pleased with it. We've got a format now where we actually help small businesses as well. We bring in caterers, refreshments, we offer photo opportunities, we have a lot of support from many sponsors, and without them we couldn't have gone as far as we have. So yeah, we're pleased.
Do you think that all the world will, let's say, evolve, going closer to women? Because women are ageist, they are fighting for their rights, or just to feel them better, for example, in a workplace? Or do you think that we will be anyway part of the world where they will be seen, let's say, one step down? Because, for example, I come from Italy, and I am sure that in Italy we will have anyway places where women will be looked, in another way. And maybe there are women that they will never see themselves able to arrive somewhere, because they will see themselves just like to be care of the kids or stay at home and
traditional role. Yeah, I think I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, being a full-time mother is probably the most difficult job of all. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what I think, coming from a slightly feminist point of view, is that we need choices. Women need choices as well, not just that's your role, that's where you'll be staying, in the house, cooking, cleaning, let's keep it 1950s sort of style. I think it's all about developing. I know it might be baffling for most of the men, but there are so many women's groups coming together, and it's all over the internet now. It's on Instagram and Facebook. You might be tired of it, and you might be thinking, but why do they need so much support? Well, women have been put back for so many years, and it's only now that we're trying to fight our way through, so that's not going to stop. And I think with all the cases, the Harvey Weinstein and all that, it comes into play, so there's a real strong community of women, and I think with SHE, I think it couldn't have come at a better time for Malta, so we're pushing with that. Of course, there will be some women who prefer to remain in that role. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that's what they choose. That's my opinion.
So when I think about evolution, I don't think that everybody is going to be on board at the same time, and I think there's going to be a lot of resistance from different people. But when I think of it in terms of men and women, I think that, there's evolution from both sides. We need to help ourselves as well. And in fact, this is this is what I like about SHE. From the perspective, like I remember I had gone to my first SHE event, and I went to the very first SHE event, and I went and I thought, this is a really cool space, you know? Like they're really trying to empower women, they're really trying to build us up, but we can really easily tear each other down. Why? Because we've had, yes, we are at a disadvantage. We're coming into this late, you know, we're starting working in the workforce late. And so we do have a lot of self-belief that we need to challenge. We do have a lot of question marks, like, am I good enough? Or do I really have something to say? Am I skilled enough? And the problem is that when we don't address these self-beliefs, they stop us from moving forward. This is what fear is. So physically, fear actually stops you from moving. So when we don't move forward and we don't accomplish our dreams, let's say I have the self-belief that I'm not enough, and I don't move forward, I don't accomplish my dreams. If I see somebody else successful, I'm gonna look at that, and that's gonna threaten me. That's gonna hit my shame. And I'm gonna think, fuck. Okay? Now, we don't know very much about how to process shame. We weren't really taught this in school. Okay? And everybody experiences shame. Every single person. Some people sink further into it, and that's when self-loathing comes up, and it's I hate myself. Okay? And some people are luckier. I don't think it's lucky in the long term, but they're luckier in the sense that it turns into jealousy. Okay? And how do we cope with jealousy? We judge. And we attack. So I really liked this environment, okay? And I was like, okay, it's really cool, we're building each other up, and at the same time, there is the potential for this. Okay, so we need to address the pink elephant in the room. So, do you remember, I came up to you at the event and I said, Sass, like I really want to like talk about envy between women, jealousy, envy between women. And we did. So I think that this is really important, and it's created a more, like when people understand jealousy, they understand what's happening behind it, they're more able to process it, you know? So on a woman level, I feel there's a lot of looking at your own self-beliefs, there's a lot of moving forward, facing your fear, you know, and not allowing your shame to cause you to want to tear other people down. On a man level, I think that you need support too. I think that you've been locked in roles that maybe you haven't wanted to play. You know, all the financial responsibility has fallen on you. Maybe there's some resentment there, you know, and you've always had to play macho and big, and yeah, I get hard like that, no props. And it's not like that. I mean, one of my most, on my blog, one of the most visited blog posts is when your willy won't cooperate. It's never shared, okay, nobody comments on it, but it's hit all the time. So I know that this stuff is happening, and I know from my clients as well, it's totally normal. We act like women are all complex, men are fucking complex. Can I say fuck, is that okay? But men are fucking complex, it's true. If anything, you're even more complex than the women are. Because you have had even less space to address your heart. You have had even less space to tune into your emotions, to see what you cry, be strong, and just go. So I feel that you need your own support with this evolution, because of course it's going to be tough for you to let go of, to be more flexible, right? If you've been taught success, financial success, you know, blah, 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 that's how you are provided, blah, 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 blah. How can you also be a father? So you guys are as much a part of the evolution as we are.